Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because of previous assignment, I am currently enjoying the great privilege of living in this beautiful country of Kenya my 9th year. So for the sake of brevity, allow me please the privilege of starting by that great Kenyan expression, all protocol observed. Hamjambo, habari zenu. It is a great honor to present here today at the National Election Conference 2017, which is an important milestone towards the 2017 election in Kenya. At the moment, we ourselves in Europe are seeing passionate feelings about issues, as you certainly know. But we are addressing them within a peaceful and no matter how heated and passionate debate. This is the overall context in which several European elections have taken place during the past year, or might be about to take place in the near future. In each case, most noticeably, it is the ballot box that is used to express citizen sentiments about their grievances in line with the fundamental principle of democracy on which the European Union is built. Each of our 28 member countries is a democracy, and the European Union as an institution is governed by democratic principles. Supporting democracy worldwide is an absolute priority for the European Union. Democracy remains the only system of governance where people can fully realize their development and long-term stability, as well as their human rights. In general, European Union support for democratic elections takes the form of electoral assistance projects, and for some countries, EU election observation missions. In Kenya, we are supporting the IEBC together with other partners through a multi-donor basket fund managed by UNDP, pooling resources from a number of European Union member states and other donors. The European observer mission are conducted by the European Union in third countries upon invitation of the country holding the election. Here in Kenya, we received an invitation from the government to field an electoral observation mission, and we signed a memorandum of understanding to that effect just last week. On Thursday last week, a Dutch member of the European Parliament, Mariette Schaake, was appointed to head the team of the European Union election observers for the Kenyan polls. This team started arriving in the country already yesterday. The financial support to the Basket Fund and the Electoral Observation Mission are examples of how we support Kenya's commitment to democratic governance. And I must recognize the important efforts made in recent past. The efforts to come towards a reinforced legislative and institutional framework, the efforts towards more informed and inclusive participation of all Kenyans in the electoral process, the efforts towards more transparent and peaceful elections, and the efforts towards strengthened electoral justice. For elections to be credible, equal participation of men and women is important. Women, more than half of the population, are still underrepresented in Kenyan politics. The Kenyan people have acknowledged the importance of equal representation of women through the validation of the new constitution and its two-thirds gender clause during the national referendum in 2010. And indeed, efforts have been made for inclusive participation of women through voter education and by facilitating women to become candidates. The European Union would warmly welcome further legislative efforts in making the two-thirds gender rule a reality. While democratic governance is something that is happening on a day-to-day basis, a good definition of democracy that I like very much is a daily vote, and it is, in fact, in all of our behaviors. The true pinnacle of democratic governance is the election itself. Election can only be called a success if they are credible and peaceful and conducted with the full participation of youth, women, persons with disabilities, and other marginalized groups. Such success does not come by itself, but requires the engagement of all stakeholders, especially regarding the aspect of peaceful election. It requires an embrace of inclusive political discourse by political parties, including, noticeably, avoiding hate speech. From the security service, it requires upholding human rights during the electoral process, including effective and neutral response mechanism by the policy. From civil society, it requires monitoring incidents from the media. It requires balanced and accurate reporting. Allow me also, finally, to mention an aspect which is sometimes forgotten when all of us get absorbed by the incredible, beautiful energy of this country. That is that Kenya is being looked at from all countries of the region as a beacon of democracy and stability, as the very precondition for development and prosperity. And this is further confirmed by the communiqué that was issued just yesterday in Addis Ababa by the 31st Extraordinary Summit of the IGAD Assembly of Heads of State and Government, which at para 32 states that the summit encourages Kenyans to be peaceful during the electioneering period, as well as call upon external actors to respect the sovereign right of Kenyans to choose their own leaders without interference. I fully concur with both points. This conference is a great platform to work towards these objectives, and I strongly welcome all efforts to make this election truly peaceful. The European Union is supporting Kenyans to hold the democratic election they want, but only Kenyans can ensure that the polls are free, fair, peaceful, and credible. We believe Kenyans can succeed in making this election free, fair, peaceful, and credible. And we believe very strongly that Kenya can remain the flag bearer of democracy in the region and an example for Africa and the world. Asanteni sana.